today's video is a little bit different. I just want to tell you right off the bat that this is not a sponsored video. This is a video that is dedicated to the exchange that I use and all the reasons that I use it and what the differences are. But before I dive into that, I just want to tell you why I primarily even went with this exchange. So BingX is the exchange. They have won 2021, 2022, and 2023 Best Crypto Broker or Exchange by TradingView. As you all know, if you are a trader, there's a 90% chance you're using TradingView. TradingView is the program we use to chart and to set up our technical analysis for the various assets that are available. They have given this broker for 3 years running the best broker or exchange. That alone convinced me. I then looked further into it and I realized they're transparent with their funds and where they are, and they use a third-party auditing company. And so I was convinced, and then I started to dabble with it, and I've been now using them for several months. So we have partnered together, but this is not to endorse their partnership. The reason I'm making this video is to show you guys why we use it and why some of the features that make this exchange stand out in comparison to some of the others. So the first thing is we have this event right now that we're running. I'll have a link for this in the description. It's for Chart Surgeons community. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you would also get access to this. The link is in the description. You can get over 5,500 USDT in rewards, which I really love. And while we're on the topic of rewards, these guys are always running rewards. So for instance, this is an award running right now internally. So just based on trading volume here, you would get different bonuses that you could use. And as you reach the higher volumes, these are obviously including leverage. As you reach the higher volumes, you would get bigger rewards. So those are the rewards. Once you get the rewards, they would go over here. So if you clicked on my vouchers, you would see they would be all here. And then you would know the details of what you could do with each one of these rewards. So these ones, as you could see over here, they have different limits. For example, this was a 5x leverage that you could use $15 on 5x leverage. You wouldn't actually be able to take the $15 if you, let's say you took this trade and doubled it, you wouldn't be able to take the initial 15, that stays in-house, but you would take the difference. So if you ended up going in with 15 and let's say you made it into 20, you could keep the $5 and you could use it on any of these pairs. While we're looking here, as you could see, there are cryptos, but then there are all these stocks and other amazing things like gold. And so while we're on that topic, I want to take you over to the standards. So you would go here, click on standards, and you would get to this page. What I want to talk to you about specifically, and I want to put the majority of the time for this video on, is the standards, the standard futures. What I love about this is you have your standard cryptos, tons of options. As you can see, the list goes on, but then you also have stocks, Forex, indices, and commodities. And some of the big names are in these various segments. So here you've got the S&P, you've got the NASDAQ. Under commodities, you've got gold, oil, silver. Under Forex, you've got all these different currencies. And finally, under stocks, the big ones, Tesla, Apple, Google, and so on. So when you trade these, everything here that's listed, and here are all the different altcoins that you could trade. All of these are settled in USDT. So you don't actually own the stock, but you could trade against the stock. And at the time of making this video, the stock market is closed, as you could see here. So this has stopped moving. But if the market was open, it would be almost 1-to-1, like dollar to dollar. So I really love that because that allows me to settle in USDT. You can also trade coins here. So let's say you had 1,000 Cardano that you brought onto this exchange and you wanted to trade it. Let's say you went with the entire 1,000 in a trade with 10x leverage and the price moved up 1% and you closed the trade. Well, you would make 100 Cardano back. You wouldn't get USDT back. You would actually get Cardano. Here you would get TRX. Here you would get Link, XRP, ETH, BTC, so even Bitcoin. That's what CoinM stands for. These are all under standard. Now, this is all great stuff, but what is the bigger thing? The biggest thing here is the ability to do this. So Over here, you have all your options. You can bring in your Bitcoin, you can bring your USDT, you can bring VST. VST is essentially the money that they give you, which is their sandbox money or their testnet money, your paper trading money, let's say. And over here is where all your bonuses would show up. So right now we don't have any bonuses, as you could see. But right over here, you could see that we have under VST, which is their free money. Imagine this is the amount of money we had in USDT. I want to show you what you can do. So I want to just show you the ability that the standard has versus the perpetual. So right after this, I'm going to jump directly into perpetual and show you. So let's say that I wanted to open up a position here. I'll just pick a random number. I'm going to close all these. These are just for test. I could open up a 5x long. Now I could also open up a 10x long. I could also open up a 20x long. Obviously you can modify these and put in a number that you like, 23x long. And I could maybe go like that. Okay, I also, let's say, want to open up a short position with 50x. The point is that you can open up unlimited positions under the same ticker in both directions with their own leverage. Each one of these is considered its own position. So if I didn't like this position, I could just close this. Bang, it's gone. If I wanted to put a stop loss on this one, I could define a stop loss. I could define a take profit and a stop loss, and so on and so forth. But each one of these are served as their own position, and they all have their own leverage. The only thing you can modify here would be where you take profit, where you put a stop loss, or you could close the trade, okay, for each of these positions. And all the money, obviously the winnings would settle in VST. So right now I'm up a little bit. Probably it's going to end up being what it was at the beginning. Yeah, it didn't really change much because by the time you take the fees into consideration, this is phenomenal for testing. I encourage all my students at Chart Surgeons to use the VST to learn how to trade before they even consider putting their own money on the table. Obviously, we don't provide financial advice, but all the educational content that we offer for how you can take trades, we always encourage people to use VST. So by using the link and getting in here, you also get 100,000 VST. And guess what? If you lose it, you simply click here. It gives you another 100,000. So you can keep using it and you can learn how to trade without putting your real money in, which is, I think, is another phenomenal feature. Now let's head over to perpetual. So you would go here and click on perpetuals and you're going to come to this screen. I want to just explain to you what the difference is between these two. First of all, the perpetuals are usually set up to cross, which you want to go to isolated. That's what I like to use, because then the position that I open, I can only lose whatever is in the margin as opposed to any amount of money that's here. If I just transfer $1,000, let's say right now, and start trading and it's on cross, and even if I open up a small position, that entire 1,000 is vulnerable to be lost, to be liquidated. Whereas if I use an isolated position and I have $1,000 here and I open up a $100 position, I can only lose the $100. So I would automatically recommend that you would go to isolated, because in our strategies, there are stop losses very clearly defined. So you would definitely be using the stop losses, and you also don't want to be putting in your entire bankroll into a single trade. Secondly is the hedge mode. So you have one-way mode, which is the default, and then you have hedge mode. What hedge mode allows you to do is open a long position and a short position for the same ticker at the same time. There are many cases where that makes sense. Unfortunately, this is not a video to explain that. I do explain that at Chart Surgeons, what the advantages of hedging is and when to use a hedge. But for the time being, just recognize that you can open up only two positions, one long, one short. And if you modify this while the position's open, you are modifying that position. You can't open a new position. So right here as an example, let's say I got in at this price and the price started to move up and it came up to here. And right over here, I put another $100 in. My new entry would be the center of these two. So right at the center, right in the middle, this would be my new entry for a total of $200. Let's say again, I decided to do that when the price, this is the new one, so this is gone, and then I re-enter, let's say up here, hypothetically, then obviously my new position is going to be right here in the center, and then these would be gone. So that is the difference. Perpetual, you're perpetually adding to the same position. Whereas on standards, each trade you open, you can either close it, put a stop loss, or take profit. but you can't really modify that position. Where here, if you got in down here all the way up to where we are now, as many of you know, I am in a long from 15.5. I'm also in a long from 24,000. These would never be vulnerable if I kept adding to them. Let's say that the price gets to 100, but there's a pullback to 75 and I decide to add a big chunk and my entry comes to here. I would still be so far away from, let's say, 75,000 that my position would be safe if I was using perpetual. So that in a nutshell is what I wanted to deliver to you today. The link for the broker page will be in the description. The link for this is going to be in the description. And also for chart surgeons, you could check out chartsurgeons.com or click below, join our Discord. It's free to join. And then if you want to get more information about becoming a surgeon and getting the focused educational material, you could also do that at the same location. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one soon.